that's coming to the franchise.
Wow. Well, you said it's all about incredible weather and action, and this is, first person, but there's a lot of depth to how you play the game and get involved in it. So tell us about the adventure, the progression that we're going to see of the character and your weapons as you go on.
So some of the things that you'll see in this level in particular, you'll see these different societies that the player will come across. This right here is an example of a cultist society that's kind of running this region. They're protecting a bridge that the player and his team must get across.
Yep.
And these guys are afraid of electricity and technology. They think that technology is the reason why the world kind of ended.
Yeah.
And so they're very afraid, and they're not necessarily welcoming to the player coming in, because the player has all these gadgets and everything, and he's just an outside influence, and they don't know who he is, they don't know what he's doing there, and so it's an example of one of the different societies that the player can come across, and here some of the other aspects of this environment. There's a lot of different creatures, mutants that you can come across, similar to previous Metro games, but in this one, because we're now in a big sandbox environment, there's a lot more options, a lot more dynamic gameplay the player can experience, and a lot more choice and freedom for the player.
Well, that's important, and obviously the team has been working hard on this for a number of years. Where are you guys at in development now? You said you need a little more time, but it seems like it's getting towards the end, right?
We're about at beta right now, which
as it says, beta gameplay.
Yeah, and to us, what that means is that we're feature complete and mostly content complete. Okay. Basically, at this point, doing a lot of polish. Making the art assets, as best as possible. Really, making sure the gameplay is really tight, and that's what we kind of want to, take the rest of the time that we have until launch to really focus on is polish.
That's cool. And how are you telling story in this game? The narrative aspects of it.
So previous Metro games were very linear.
Yeah.
Story-driven, very tight. Narrative. The pace was set. By the game, kind of carried the player along through the story. In this one, we kind of dip in and out of these open environments and more classic kind of linear style Metro levels that do that.
Yeah.
In these open levels, there's still a very deep narrative thread that carries the player through. However, the player has a lot more chance and a lot more freedom to kind of go at their own pace and choose what they want to do, alongside the narrative thread. There's a lot of side content that the player can experience alongside that as well. So there's hours and hours of content. This level itself, the critical path is hours of content on its own, and then there's much more hours of content on top of that in all the side stuff that we have to offer.
And a lot of the character and dialogue that was carried, it's all in engine, right? It's sort of carried like as in-game gameplay.
Yeah. Yeah.
We go through, we see lots of action, lots of excitement. Well, it looks amazing. You guys are known for really pushing visual fidelity with what you're doing, and I'm sure it's going to max out all the gaming systems when it comes to
we're going to try.
Awesome. All right, well, very cool. That looks great. Metro Exodus.
Thanks.
Thanks, John. Thanks for stopping by. We've got so much more coming up.